I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Technologies, and we are here at the NETA, the International Electrical Testing Association, their 2023 Power Tech Conference, doing interviews. My guest with me is the Director of Communications for APC Media, Rachel Linke. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, Alan. Would miss it.
We're just going to have an interesting time with all of these people, and tell me what you like best about these interviews.
The best part about these interviews, I feel like, is that it really brings about a lot of great thought leadership, and I really just love how you make everybody feel so comfortable, Alan. You really try to get people to just be comfortable and in their own skin, and then so much great information comes out of it. So
let's see if we made people in the next interview comfortable. Enjoy. My next guest is Chasen Tedder. Chasen is with Hampton Tedder, and if you get it, there's Tedder in that, right?
Yes.
Thank you for joining me, Chase.
Thank you.
So it's a family-held business. It's multi-generational. Tell me a little bit about why you came into it, and I understand you got a bunch of siblings that are part of the company too.
Yeah. So Hampton Tedder was founded in 1958 by my grandfather, Hampton Tedder. And
his name was Hampton Tedder?
I
was wondering where the Hampton came in. Great.
Yeah. And he started it. He got a lot of his training through the military and the Navy during World War II, set up a lot of the electrical installations on the islands out there. So came back, started the company. My father took it over 35 years ago.
Okay.
And so, I was kind of born into it.
Yeah, so like when you take a kid to work, your dad was bringing you to work. Hampton Tedder is a family-owned company. You're a NETA company. We talked earlier about, before we started the interview, that these family-held companies and smaller companies are really the lifeblood of NETA, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think that it's very important that a company connects with the clients and the customers. And so having someone that is there constantly, that really interacts with them, that interfaces with them is very important.
Right.
And so the smaller companies tend to do that a little bit better. And just make that connection and make sure that the client is always powered on.
Yeah. The industry is changing. Technology is changing. I mean, breakers used to be so easy, electromechanical things. They're not anymore.
No.
So a lot of your people have to be retrained. You have to train new people in a new way. Talk about how you go about making sure, number one, you have the staff, and number two, they are ready to do it safely.
Yeah, so I would say we're a little bit more unique than the vast majority of the NETA companies because we are a union shop, so a lot of our technicians come straight from the IBEW.
Okay.
So they come to us with a really good background of safety and basic electrical training. From there, we take them and we train them on our own. And it is quite a little bit of a for lack of better terms, a brotherhood that goes on and mentorship, where we bring out guys from the hall and slowly bring them up to speed for what we expect out of not only testing things but being safe while you do it.
Yeah.
On top of that, making sure that we take the time out to perform just your day-to-day safety training, but also yearly have a safety stand-down day and really train them up on things.
I'm from Atlanta. One of the best IBEW locals is the Atlanta local, which is right across from Fulton County Stadium. It's well-known, great training programs.
Yeah.
And in the South, being a union shop, it was hard.
Yeah.
But IBEW there has gotten such a great reputation for excellence in training, in safety, and all that they kind of stand out from the crowd. But not only is it changing, we're having a hard time as an industry getting the next generation to come in. That's both at your level as a double E electrical engineers, and it's definitely there for trades, right?
Yeah.
The guys in the field. Number one, it's a crap job. I mean, somebody once said, don't own a goldfish because it's going to die because you're not home that much. Talk a little bit about how you guys are handling that.
I think that it's a challenge with everything, especially with the double E situation. the electric power industry for the longest time was not exciting. You know, they were moving more towards robotics or software or something like that. So a lot of it was just grabbing any engineer, doesn't
including mechanical,
mechanical, nuclear,
yeah,
whatever it is, and training them up on what the electrical engineering side is, and specifically to power. But with all the renewables coming out and all of the focus on DER, it is really coming up through the colleges as something that people want to get involved with. And then as far as the non-engineering side, you know, it is a tough job, but I think letting people know how rewarding it is to go out there and understand that you are literally helping repower people is incredibly powerful.
It's the same thing, because you're right. People didn't go into the EE program. They loved electronics and they loved all of that, computers and those things. But we've seen some of the things where you can decarbonize the world. You can change people like that. The next generation wants to know they're making change, right? And that's about that. You mentioned DER. DER, wind and solar, batteries, storage, all of that is changing everything. It's got to be really a challenge for you guys, because it's not like it's a defined industry. You know, coal power plant, step down. It's step everywhere now. I mean, substation could be setting up, inverter based. How are you keeping up with that? How are your people keeping up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we're kind of fortunate in some ways that we're dealing mostly on the bulk distribution from where it hits the substation, goes out. The technology that's involved in some of these battery energy storage systems, or, you know, the inverter side of it. Thankfully, the manufacturers are still assisting in these brand new projects, and so they're assisting on that level. And we're focusing more on the bulk system. But it does present its own challenges, because with the massive explosion of amount of work that's coming out, you're seeing a lot of companies that aren't used to doing this traditionally, and so they are making a lot of mistakes where you know, it could be an opportunity and could be an issue, but it provides a lot of work for us.
That's great. A lot of mistakes by other people. My son lives in Los Angeles, and he and his wife, and they have solar on their house. They were fortunate that whoever the contractor was did it right. However, their neighbor has all of the problems with the contractor that didn't do it right. Then the utility gets involved, and it's like, hey, that doesn't work. I'm not taking your power. It's kind of it's like the Wild West right now for a lot of these smaller programs like solar out there, battery programs, things like that. One of the challenges that we're going to face in the industry, besides people and supply chain, which will eventually go away, hopefully, but another challenge is this drive as we drive for decarbonization, we can understand it, the digitalization drive, because that's the 3 Ds for any CEO at a utility: decarbonization, digitalization, and decentralization. That's got to give you guys opportunity. It's also got to give you challenge. So as you see the world going more digital, much more solid state, not electromechanical anymore, how are you keeping up with that, and how are your folks keeping up with it?
I think a lot of it is just training, and both on the job and a little bit of classroom, but it is providing a lot of challenges, especially for, you know, a lot of these breakers where they were electromechanical for sure, and all of a sudden, you know, with everything, the miniaturization of electronics and the price of them have gone down so much that they have Bluetooth in breakers now.
Dude, I did not know that.
Yeah, and little, you know, 100 amp breaker, 480 volt that go in a panel, it's got Bluetooth in it, and it's got 6 different auxiliary contacts in it to tell you the state of it and how things change. So it is becoming extremely difficult to test these things, but I think that it's also helping that the next generation is coming up through there, and they have a little bit more experience with dealing with electronics and software, and so we're seeing that with our workforce, that as it's becoming more complicated, they are meeting the task.
Younger people are born digital.
Yeah.
I was born Amish, and I mean that, but I had to go Amish analog digital, and I'm still in between the analog digital part of it.
Yeah.
But the younger people adapt to it. That's one of the problems with an older workforce, is they have to adapt too. And there's a reluctance to do it. Number one, it's change. And number two, you have to relearn things. And I think that's one of the other reasons that people exit the industry when they can retire. You know, it used to be you'd retire and go back to work. That's not happening as much as it used to happen. Last question that I've got for you is, what does it look like for Hampton Tedder in the future? Where are you guys going?
Hopefully, like all companies, we're going exponentially up as much as possible. But getting more technicians, cornering the market more, getting into more states, just growing. I would like to talk a little bit about something you mentioned, which is an aging workforce.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually, it's something that we've taken advantage of quite a bit and seen as a very good growth opportunity.
Okay.
Is there's a lot of our technicians that are, 70s, some of them even 80s, that we pair them with.
What?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's amazing, especially protection and control technicians for utilities. As long as their mind's sharp, they can stay in the workforce quite a while, and it really helps out a lot pairing them with a next generation, younger person, to help them out with some of the technology challenges that they may have. And it provides a great opportunity for them to bond over that and a transfer of knowledge back and forth. And so we've found a lot of success in that sort of pairing.
That's excellent. You're the first person that has ever shared the fact, and I think it's brilliant that you're doing that. But anyway, thank you for sharing. Appreciate you being with us, Jason.
Absolutely. Nice talking to you.